Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy start of the new week. Welcome to our English newscast on Info Television. Our headlines. Following a security and evaluation meeting this September 22 in Betwa East Region, the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, has told authorities to be on alert as any attempts to disrupt the October presidential election will face the wrath of the law. And according to experts, university students in Cameroon have aspirations but need more guidance in choosing their fields of study. They say aptitude and location are some key aspects for students to uphold when making this choice. Those were our headlines. Details right ahead. Welcome back. And as you heard in one of our lead stories, following a security and evaluation meeting this September 22 in Betwa East Region of Cameroon, the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, told regional authorities to be on alert as any attempts to disrupt the October 12 presidential elections will be met with the heavy arm of the law. Jude Kenji is on special assignment to the East Region. His reports.
Though the security situation in the East region is under control, according to reports presented to the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, by the Governor of the East region, Gregoire Mvongo, this 22nd of September 2025, during a security evaluation meeting on the esteemed instructions of the head of state, Paul Biya, ahead of the October 12 presidential election. The minister insisted that administrative authorities must be extremely vigilant before, during, and after the October 12 presidential election.
At the esteemed instructions of President Paul Biya, we are here together to make a thorough evaluation of the political situation, the security situation, and the electoral process, which is ongoing. As we all know, the presidential elections will take place on the 12th of October 2025. And all the candidates are already on the field trying to sell their programs. It's important to recall the importance of this election and that all the candidates have the moral responsibility to portray a good image of our country. President Paul Biya has instructed me to tell all administrative authorities to do everything possible so that peace, calm, and serenity should reign before, during, and after the presidential elections of 2025.
It was a moment to remind the actors involved in this election of what is at stake while avoiding all forms of intimidation.
It is important for all the actors to know what is at stake. We have to preserve national unity. We have to avoid hate speech. We have to avoid all forms of intimidation. We have to present our political programs to Cameroonians so they can judge and choose what is good for them and what will defend their interest.
Minister Paul Atanganji of Territorial Administration reiterated the prescription of President Paul Biya, which is that of living together and social cohesion.
And President Paul Biya has been working all through his life to reinforce national unity and to reinforce peaceful coexistence between all the components of the state. Those are big achievements of the state that we must all preserve. That is why he has instructed, as head of state and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, that we should do everything so that the process should go on smoothly. The elections must take place hitch-free.
While saluting the patriotic spirit of some presidential candidates, the minister said those who will want to take this period as a pretext to bring about chaos and disorder will face the heavy arm of the law.
I know that we have candidates who are patriotic Cameroonians and who have the intention to sell their programs so that many more Cameroonians can come on board and support what they are trying to do. But others want to take this presidential election as a pretext to preach chaos, hate speech, tribalism, and to defy state authority. I want to make it clear that we will not tolerate any form of disorder before, during, and after the presidential elections. Cameroon is a state of law, and all those who participate in this presidential election must abide by the rules and regulations.
If for one reason or the other, any candidate is not happy with the process, there is a legal framework to handle their worries.
If for one reason or the other, a candidate is not happy with the process, we have a legal framework where you can address your challenges and your worries. So it's an obligation for all political actors, especially those who are taking part in the elections, to abide by the rules and regulations.
In the course of the meeting, the media was cautioned about the important role they have to play during this electoral period.
And to the media men, I know you will play an important role of coverage during these elections. I urge you to be responsible. It's important to be responsible, because if you don't give us good information or give tilted information, you are not helping the process. And I want us to be partners. I don't want you to be a customer of the administration. Only those who want to defy state authority will be our customers, and will handle them properly.
The meeting was also a moment for the minister to salute the efforts Elecam is making to distribute the good code of conduct to all actors involved for a free, fair and transparent election. It should be noted that the security evaluation meeting in Betua falls within a nationwide tour to all 10 regional headquarters before the 12 October presidential election.
With the October 12 presidential election fast approaching, the CPDN Ocean Southwest section has set Niete ablaze with campaign fever, vowing massive support for President Paul Biya's candidacy, as you tell us in this report, Patience Shinto.
The CPDM Ocean Southwest section has kicked off its campaign in Niete with a resounding pledge: deliver a sweeping victory for President Paul Biya in the October 12, 2025 election. Meeting under the chairmanship of Alain Gisha Ndona, President of the Presidential Campaign Commission and Section President, party officials and militants outlined a roadmap aimed at ensuring resounding support at the polls. The gathering, marked by massive turnout, signals the beginning of an intense campaign in Niete subdivision. Speakers urged militants to engage fully in grassroots outreach in line with party directives for effective campaign. As the head of the campaign committee that I am, I exhort you all to rise up and move from that silent opposition. Give President Paul Biya the unwavering support he deserves. The national president urges grassroots militants to give 100% vote. Organizers say the strategy will hinge on intensive field coverage to maximize voter mobilization and ensure no vote is lost on election day. The CPDM Ocean Southwest section declares its resolve to carry out a door-to-door campaign with the goal of convincing even the skeptic and reaffirming confidence in a candidate they describe as a leader capable of guiding Cameroon towards emergence by 2035.
3 weeks before the October 12 presidential election, the level of youth involvement is a mixed bag. While some young people have lost interest due to the removal of their preferred candidates, others remain actively engaged in the electoral process. Our reporter Agnes Ayok sampled the opinion of young people and brought back the following report.
3 weeks to the October 12 presidential election, young people say they have lost interest in the election as some of their candidates have been removed from the scene.
Just immediately after the candidacy of Professor Maurice Kanto was declared or he was eliminated, the involvement of youth dropped drastically, let me say to even 50% reduction. And since then, they have been waiting for him to pronounce on which candidate he might like to support.
Though the involvement of young people has reduced, some young people are still actively involved in the participation of the upcoming elections.
Many youth today, they registered and they need to take their cards. In fact, many registered because they have their reason, especially maybe on employment. They are sure that for them to register for the election, they know that with the president, things can change, and maybe the rate of employment would also increase. So that's why many youth are interested.
The level of involvement of young people has sufficiently increased because in almost all debates, we hear about political and presidential talks. But I will go on the quality of their involvement. We are more involved in debates and not active speeches and concrete practices. One can therefore say the level of youth involvement 3 weeks before the presidential election can vary significantly based on several factors, including the political climate, the candidates, and specific campaigns aimed at engaging young voters.
15 suspects have been presented to the press this September 22, 2025 at the Ngwaikele Police Headquarters for drug trafficking with nearly 40 kilograms of cannabis, while 11 others were captured for motorbike theft and assault. This was during an operation led by Commissioner Alida Mbiti. Mimi Tiobo tells us more.
4 individuals, aged 42 to 48, were arrested on September 10 in various Yaoundé neighborhoods for possession of nearly 40 kilograms of cannabis and other prohibited substances. This operation resulted from coordinated effort by multiple police units targeting repeat offenders. The operation concerns drug dealers, but that also concerns those who use drugs to rob. Here on my left is a group of bike thieves who robbed and killed bike riders. We finally dismantled them at Soa. When they robbed in Yaoundé, they go and hide it at Soa to restructure and sell it. One of these bikes, unfortunately for us, had a GPS, and it's from the GPS that we arrive at their hiding spot. Gang of bike thieves and assaulters arrested on September 22, 2025, a gang of 11 individuals suspected of stealing and assaulting bike riders was presented to the press. The suspect allegedly dismantled and modified bikes to resell them in the outskirts of Soa. Their arrest was made possible by the intelligence coordinated by Divisional Commissioner Alinda Emmanuel Biti, regional delegate for the Central. There are neighborhoods that are very rough. These neighborhoods, you know them. I will not denounce it because we have a number of operations that is ongoing in those neighborhoods to wipe away this phenomenon. We are really engaged. Commissioner Betty emphasizes his commitment to tracking down criminals and urge parents to monitor their children's behavior, reporting any suspicious activities to the authorities. The suspects are currently being held at the Ngwaikele Police Headquarters while awaiting their trials and prosecutions for their alleged crimes.
And away from that, we talk health as hospitals nationwide are stepping up efforts to raise awareness and combat heart disease ahead of the World Heart Day on September 29, 2025. A health expert emphasizes on the importance of regular exercise and preventive medical care in this report compiled by Jessica Ndiwu.
Under the theme, Use Your Heart, Know Your Heart, hospitals are intensifying initiatives to prevent premature deaths from cardiovascular diseases by promoting awareness and proactive heart care.
It's advised for them to make exercise, but not alone, to come with a professional of sport, so that person will take care of the people. There is possibility to be comfort to doing the sport. So if you are working with a professional person, everything will run good. We advise them to start by walking and maybe swimming.
Ifulan Hospital, for example, has launched a comprehensive awareness and screening campaign, providing vital checks and guidance to the public. As soon as we feel the first signs of chest pain, palpitations or shortness of breath, patients should seek immediate medical consultation. Patients who are diagnosed with cardiovascular disease require strict and regular follow-up to ensure proper care. In prelude to this World Heart Day, which is celebrated every 29th of September, the Hospital of Ifulan organizes a campaign of awareness and screening.
Sensibilisation et de dépistage.
Cardiac rehabilitation programs are also helping patients gradually and safely rebuild their strength, ensuring long-term recovery and improved quality of life.
Il faut faire attention quand les sujets sont déjà...
When a patient suffers from heart failure, physical activity cannot be taken up suddenly. It must be carefully structured. This is where cardiac rehabilitation comes in specialized care that helps patients gradually regain strength and safely resume physical efforts under medical supervision. Health experts nationwide are urging citizens to take charge of their heart health through regular checkups, consistent physical activity, and informed medical care. Steps that pave the way for a healthier future for all.
On to education. According to experts, university students in Cameroon have aspirations but need more guidance in choosing their fields of study. They say aptitude and location are some key aspects for students to uphold when making this choice. Let's watch.
The need for better university orientation to align choices with career paths is a vital step for aspiring students. Some may have career visions but require more support to understand and choose among university offerings that match their aspirations. A child can be interested in a number of activities after the advanced level obtention. It could be academically or professionally, and the parents can influence too, but it is important to take into consideration certain parameters to be able to make a choice, like the child's profile, such as psychological, and how intelligent the child is. Several factors can influence a student's decision when choosing a field of study. As far as student orientation is concerned, the guardian counselor, who is an expert in the field, brings the student to choose a field of study depending on his or her profile. And the environment too matters, because the student's environment also has a role to play, but it is the student that decides and not the counselor. The counselor only accompanies the students in the discovery. However, the phenomenon of mismatch in university program choices and admission is a call for concern.
And we take you to Kribi with this brief. During a working visit to the Ocean Division South region, the Prime Minister, Head of Government Chief Dr. Joseph Diangute, representative of the Head of State Paul Biya, presides over the inauguration ceremony of the Bipindi Ground Zambi Iron Ore Deposit, accompanied by the Interim Minister of Mines, Industry and Technological Development, Professor Fu Callistus Gentry, alongside members of government this September 22, 2025. The Bipindi Ground Zambi Iron Ore Deposit, valued at $33.3 billion based on current market valuation, will go a long way to provide thousands and the promotion import substitution, which is in line with President Paul Biya's 2020-2030 National Development Strategy. The visit of the Head of Government Prime Minister proceeded to Kribi Lobe Iron Sinal Kam SR deposit, laying the foundation stone of the site while presiding over Tungaundere for the same exercise. These and more shall be yours in our subsequent editions. And on to something else, the Manfe Principal Prison built during the colonial era is today grappling with severe infrastructural decay and a lack of basic amenities. The facility, which currently hosts over 200 inmates, is in dire need of rehabilitation, as revealed by its administrator, Etape Jerry. Mimi Tiobo throws more light.
The Manfe Principal Prison, once a beacon of correctional reforms in the southwest region, now faces a pressing crisis. Inmates at the facility are living under harsh conditions with no electricity and inadequate access to clean water. According to the prison administrator, Itapejewi Elonge, these challenges are greatly affecting the well-being of detainees and the daily operations of the prison.
Manfe Principal Prison is one of those which was constructed in the colonial period and rehabilitated as time goes on. Being a colonial prison, it has its challenges, infrastructural. Manfe to a town that we all know, the colonial town. This too has its own challenges. You yourself, you are living there for several months now. There's no light in Manfe. That is one of the challenges we are facing and making work so difficult for us. Another problem is water. We have not been having water for all that while. We carry water from doubtful sources, which is a big challenge, a big health challenge to our offenders and even to the personnel.
In the midst of this constraint, there was a moment of pride for the Manfe prison community. The assistant administrator, Mokete Balemba Armstrong, was promoted to the rank of prison superintendent, a recognition of his dedications and service.
Today, after a very distinct time put in service, hierarchy has recognized my efforts and decorated me and promoted me to the rank of superintendent de prison, as it is called in French. So I am very happy, most especially to my hierarchy, to my boss, and to my collaborators here, because it is through teamwork that we have been able to achieve this greatness. So I pray that we continue working as a team, and together we shall all, not only me, be promoted, but every other personnel of this institution.
The event brought to light the governmental ongoing effort to strengthen staff capacity and welfare within the penitentiary system. Yet, stakeholders and observers continue to call for urgent infrastructural improvement in prisons across the country. As the Minister of Justice works on reforms, the hope remains that Manfe Principal Prison will soon benefit from renewed attention, ensuring dignity, safety, and rehabilitations for all inmates.
Despite the World Car Free Day observance, the streets of Yaoundé remain packed, highlighting how deeply people rely on cars. Jessica Ndiwum spoke with vehicle owners and citizens about the challenges of reducing car use and a push for greener and healthier ways to get around. Her report.
Celebrated worldwide, World Car Free Day aims to raise awareness about sustainable transport. In Yaoundé, parked vehicles and heavy traffic underscore the daily mobility challenges faced by residents. The only option is human mobility. Walking, maybe cycling, but it's not obvious given the realities of our country. Vehicle emissions continue to contribute significantly to population, posing serious health risk. We are an African country, and it is hard to imagine living or moving around without vehicles. For us, vehicles are not just machines. They are essential means of transportation that connect people, communities, and opportunities. In Africa, life without vehicles will be nearly impossible because they remain the fastest and most efficient way to travel. In ancient times, people relied on horses, bicycles, and other traditional means of movement. But today, vehicles stand out as the most practical and reliable means of transport for human mobility. Vehicles come with both advantages and disadvantages. On the other hand, they allow us to move faster and more efficiently than traditional means of transport like horse. Here in Cameroon, as in much of Africa, vehicles have become indispensable to daily life. However, their use also brings serious challenges. Vehicles burn oil, release carbon gases, which contribute to pollution and cause health problems. Many people suffer from respiratory disease even though they have never smoked in their lives. Old trucks, which continues to circulate in our cities, only worsen the situation. Despite this, we have little choice. Children need vehicles to get to school, and families depend on them to reach hospitals and access essential services. Vehicles remain the most reliable means of transportation, even as we struggle with the negative impact they have on our environment and health. Many citizens welcomed the initiative, noting that it encourages cleaner air and healthier lifestyles. Others, however, pointed out the practical difficulties of reducing car use in their daily routines.
A high-level Cameroonian delegation led by the senior divisional officer of Manu, Yves Bertrand Awunfak, paid a restitution visit to Ikom in Cross River State in Nigeria. The delegation, comprising of local and administrative authorities, security officials and economic operators, honored the initiative from the Chief Francis Banjo Ndifo. Details in this report.
This visit reciprocated a previous one made by a 30-man Nigerian delegation to Cameroon during the 53rd National Day celebration in Manyo, further cementing cross-border relations. The Bechebeja Festival, known for its vibrant cultural display, served as a perfect stage to deepen cultural and business ties between Cameroon and Nigeria. The arrival of the Cameroonian delegation at the festival ground in Epakche-Kome draws admiration from a crowd of over 3,000 spectators, symbolizing the warmth and unity between the two nations.
We came here to celebrate with our brothers and sisters of this beautiful country, and I want to say that our presence here is an eloquent testimony of the quality of relationship that exists between the President of the Republic of Cameroon and his brother, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We came here to showcase the excellent relationship that exists between the people of Cameroon and their brothers and sisters from Nigeria. These are two neighboring countries which have a lot in common.
A highlight of the visit was the conferment of chieftaincy title upon Tabe Obenbeson, President, General Manager of the Southwest Manyokoko Farmer Cooperative Union, Crown Okim Kosemane Pakje1 of Epakche-Kome Kingdom. The title translates to one who brings people together. It was a recognition of his tireless effort in straightening cocoa trade relations